Good evening. I'm Perry Schumacher. Welcome to Open Range. Tonight I've got BEK TV host Lori Hinz back with me. Lori's been on several times. Lori was lucky enough to be in Medora over Trump's Freedom 250 visit and then on the 4th of July. So Lori is going to spend the first few segments filling the audience in on all the things she got to view and interviews she got to do. Lori, welcome back.
Thank you so much, Perry. And it is neat to be able to do things and then document them and then just bring them back and then share them. I like to call it show and tell.
Well, tonight it's show and tell night, and I appreciate you doing this, and I think everybody will enjoy what you've got to present. So take us through it. The floor is yours.
Alrighty. I have a lot of photos to share, and so we're going to whip through them right off the bat here too. On July 1st, I was able to go to Medora. My husband and I traveled there, and this was the first thing that we saw when we came in from the west side of town, is the actual train, and you'll see that later on in my photos because it figures pretty prominently when President Trump arrived on the train. That is a picture that my husband took, and that is what you will see as far as a lot of security. There was a great deal of presence of security there, not only on top of buildings, but on top of bluffs and everything. Now, if you look really carefully at the stage, this is from looking above in the amphitheater, obviously. That was the stage setup, and it was so delightfully patriotic and lovely, and it was a wonderful background. But if you notice, the stage looks a little blotchy and yet shiny. I'm going to come back to that later on because you can see it from the top that it looks really interesting, and I've got a backstory about that a little later on. So this is our view from up above as we were standing in line, and I was holding our place in line, and my husband went over and took this view. The views were just spectacular, and I can only imagine as the president flew here to the Medora location that he saw all of that. This is my view while I'm standing in line. We were standing in line on the main level, on the ground level, across the road from the road that winds up to the amphitheater and also the library. And when we were standing there in line for quite a long time. This is a picture of my husband and me. We are quite hot and warm and toasty because it was about 94 degrees, but we took a picture before the president arrived so that you could kind of see where we were seated in the area there. This is the line we were standing in. So we got in line originally at about just a little after 7 o'clock in the morning, and then from 7:30 until 9:30 stood in this line right here at the top of the amphitheater for about 2 hours, again in the sun, which contributed to a delightful sunburn for me. This was our vantage point as we got seated in the amphitheater. We were in row 4, and the 4th row gave us a great vantage point to see all of the kind of the VIP people who were there, all in front of us. Everyone from the governor to the lieutenant governor and her family. Also, the president's family sat just a couple of rows in front of us too, and that was thrilling and shocking and exciting. It was quite an experience, all in all. It was one of those things where you look at it later on and you think, okay, this is one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. So the security was tight. There were 4 days of canceled Medora musicals, and I can only imagine that the Secret Service was doing its sweep during that time. We arrived early, and while we arrived, my husband and I, my other RNC colleagues, so I'm the National Committee woman for the Republican Party for North Dakota, the National Committee man and the state party chairman are the other 2 members of the RNC from North Dakota, and they were also invited. And so as we were communicating and we got in line, they went and they stopped, and we had been there a day in advance so that we didn't have to fight the crowds in the morning, in the early morning. My 2 colleagues, both Matthew Simon, who is the chairman, and Dr. Steve Nagel, who is the national committee man, were going to join us there, and so my job was to hold their spots. And as it turned out, they ended up getting onto a bus and going over to the library accidentally, so that was very interesting. We can look at some more photos here and roll through them here. This is where my colleagues were. They were over at the library at the time. So this is a picture one of them sent me that showed what they were doing over at the library. Well, because of that, they did not get to the seating at the amphitheater at the same time that Jeff and I did. And as I was sitting there, I took a picture of these two heaters that were added on the stage as they were getting ready for the president to come. And I noticed a really strong smell of stain at that time. And I overheard somebody there at the event say that, oh yes, they were upstaining the floor of the stage all night in advance of the president being there. And they were literally 94 degrees. They had heaters trying to dry the stain as quickly as possible. I don't know if that was safe. It was very interesting. At about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, our governor, Kelly Armstrong, got on stage first and made a nice introduction. He was there at what later became the place where the president spoke, and that is Hung Kao. That is a picture of the Secretary of the Navy, acting Secretary of the Navy. And why would he be there? Well, because at one point, Theodore Roosevelt himself, was the Assistant Secretary to the Navy. And so it was a fitting person to be there and talking. Then some of the celebrities started walking in, so I got a couple of photos here. That is Caroline Levitt, who is seated 3 rows in front of me. And she walked in, followed immediately by some of the people who are very recognizable. Those are children of the President of the United States. Eric, the second son, on the right with his hand up, and then Don Jr., the oldest of Donald Trump's children, and his new wife, Bettina Anderson Trump, or Bettina Trump, now were there as well. So they were seated. And in walked our former governor and Interior Secretary, currently Doug Burgum. He was very thrilled to give the introduction to the President of the United States. You can see behind him some of the Rough Riders who came in. And then the President finally came and spoke. And I kind of giggled when he walked in. I hoped his feet were not sticking to the surface of the stage there. They had put down a couple of rugs over the top of him, finally gave up trying to get it to work. And he gave a wonderful speech. It was really exciting. He also was very complimentary to the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library in his remarks, and he joked that he spent a great deal more time there than he expected. He expected 15 minutes. He ended up being over there for about an hour or more. Then he was off on his way again shortly after this picture, and it was a thrilling time. Now, I have 2 pictures at the end here. This is one of 2 pictures I want to stay on for a couple of seconds. This is one of the most iconic photos that you will see, and you can see it's a Getty Images photo. And then this was such an important, iconic photo because this president has made a habit of having iconic photos. How about his fight, photo, and in the drive-through of the McDonald's photo, the photo I would say of him in the garbage truck was an iconic photo. He just has so many of those, and I was thrilled to see this photo in North Dakota becoming one of those iconic photos. This is the other one that became very iconic and ubiquitous on social media, and it was the Rough Riders who were actually escorting in the SUVs containing the president and his entourage and those people who came with him. What a thrilling opportunity. I took this picture from a screenshot of the actual video of them arriving. That was just, it was phenomenal. It was a really exciting day, and I was thrilled that this was the type of thing that North Dakota would be known for, Perry.
You know, that Rough Rider photo, whoever planned that out and thought this is what, that person needs a raise.
I agree.
That was incredible to have. I would have never thought of it, but it was genius, I thought.
Anecdotally, I heard that it almost didn't happen, but that the fellow who was the head of the Rough Riders there was persistent enough that he wanted to be involved with the whole visit in some way, and he was persistent enough to do that. So thank you to him for persisting and trying to figure out how they would be utilized, I guess, in the whole day. It was thrilling to see that all over the interwebs for several days after that, knowing that it occurred right here in North Dakota.
You talked early on about the security. They have, obviously the president is there, so the security, was it off-putting? Did it take away at all from the event?
It did not. No, I did. I guess I am very used to it because I have been to events where security has been very tight, and I've been, very privileged to be able to go to events where the Secret Service is already, there, White House visits and things like that. So it wasn't onerous or bad, I didn't think. There was no real visible Secret Service while we were standing in line. We had to go through magnetometers down on the ground level before we got up to the top of the hill where the amphitheater was, and that was it. That was the sweep. Then we got onto big buses and loaded us and then drove us up. And for those that do not know, the library is located right across the parking lot from the amphitheater parking lot.
Did you get an estimate of how large a crowd it was that day? I mean,
Well,
was it room only as well as, or did everybody have to be seated?
Everybody had to be seated, and it was a full house. And I will tell you that the challenge for my husband and me was to hold those already reserved seats for the chairman and the national committee man when everybody wanted to sit in those seats, of course, because they were such good seats. But I knew they were coming, and I communicated with the woman from Freedom 250 who I had acquainted myself with, and I said, nope, they're really coming. She goes, are they on their way? I said, they're on their way. So they came in just as the president began to speak, and we managed to make it work. But I was guarding those seats with my life.
Was there any protesting going on?
Zero.
Oh,
Absolutely. Nice. It was wonderful. There was no protesting whatsoever visible anywhere in town. Saw none of it.
Folks, we got to head to our first break. We'll be back with Lori Hinz and more about the Freedom 250 Trump visit to Medora as well as 4th of July. Come back.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
Find relief for what ails you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Teas, supplements, tinctures, and more. Formulated to fight whatever has you down. We're Bismarck Mandan's favorite place to find delicious, natural, and easy ways to alleviate symptoms brought on by anything from colds to cancer. Brew a better you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Steep Me products may cause side effects, including but not limited to improved mood, deeper sleep, enhanced hydration, renewed sense of smell, increased energy levels, superior balance, boosted immunity, proper digestion, restored sense of calm, and a delightful smelling home.
Welcome to Arrowhead Cleaners. Newly renovated, modernized, and ready to make your cleaning needs hassle-free. From commercial and residential wash and fold laundry services to the latest in professional dry cleaning techniques, we are dedicated to your unique needs, offering alterations, fabrications, and even custom hat making. So whether you're a busy professional, a family on the go, or even a rodeo champion, Arrowhead Cleaners is here to take your things from messed up to dressed up. Now celebrating our 64th year in Arrowhead Plaza.
Welcome to Radiant Retreat Tanning and Spa in Mandan, where a relaxing spa experience meets the latest in healing innovations. Take total control of your massage in our Hydro Massage Bed. Experience whole body healing in our Zero Body Cryo Bed. Let our salt sauna and halo generator restore your respiratory and skin health. And of course, tailored tanning will keep you looking as good as you feel. Discover your best self at Radiant Retreat, 1307 1st Street Northeast, Mandan.
That concept of deodorant and the concept of stinky man body, and really putting it into perspective of how you've come up with a product that is going to take care of that day in and day out.
That's right. Absolutely. Took a lot of work, a lot of formulations, a lot of process to make sure that we're making a product that actually stands up to the rigors of what guys do on a daily basis. And, I feel very confidently to say that we've delivered on that experience.
So we're in a time where we're more cognizant about the things we're putting in our body, and really more importantly, the things we're putting on our body. And aluminum has been a big part of deodorant and masking scent and all the different things for a number of years. You pulled that piece that's kind of been that, I don't want to say not healthy, but the piece that people really wanted to eliminate. You eliminated it and still come up with a really good product.
Welcome back to Open Range. I'm Perry Schumacher of West Fargo. Tonight I've got Lori Hinz with me from BEK TV. Lori was at the Medora festivities earlier in the month. She spent the first day with Trump's 250 freedom speech, and then she went back a few days later for the 4th of July. We're going to hear a little bit about the 4th of July celebration and the library opening.
It's true. My husband and I went back again then. We started on Wednesday the 1st, and then we went back again for the events on the 4th of July. And so this was my visit to go and see the library. And so I had gotten tickets in advance, for free tickets actually, to go and view this event. And so my husband and I set up camp chairs, and we sat on the grassy hill in the back, and we were able to view the whole kind of grand opening ceremony that they had for the public there. They had a flag raising there. They had horses that came and ran across the prairie there, and you can see a little bit of the background of the library and the slope of the roof and how it looks kind of like a hill there. And then later on, I got to go up into the conference room. I had contacted the Teddy Roosevelt Library media people and said, hey, can I get media credentials to come and talk to some people there while I'm there? And they said, absolutely. So they took me up to this amazing room up above. Now take note of the shape of that light fixture, because I'm going to come back to that in a moment. But this view was pretty fantastic from this room that I got to look down on the area. That's looking more toward the west from one of the building. There's a middle area in between it where people can gather. And then the other side that you're looking at is where some of the exhibits are. And this is looking out toward the southeast from the conference room, where the trails that come into the Teddy Roosevelt or Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library and the walkways that are all paved around there. Just to the right there, you can see where the backside of the stage was. This was crazy to me. This is the stairway that goes up to the conference room, and as we go forward in these pictures, you will see that the door was virtually hidden. That right there is as the door is cracking open, going to the stairway, and then the wider view of this picture shows you how sneaky it is. You can't even see where the door is. It was very clever. It was very well done, and had I not known that there was a door there, I probably wouldn't have even noticed it, but that was the door to get up there. And I thought, wow, this is very well integrated, because the door looks exactly like the wall there too. So as it turned out, I took some pictures from the walk on the way up, and this is what it looks like, just facing west as you're walking in and going in toward the library. It was a beautiful day weather-wise. The sun was shining, and they did a marvelous job on the top of the building with the grasses and regrowing all the native plants there. It was pretty terrific. I think the local wildlife probably thinks that that's just a regular hill, and I hope that they know that there's a cliff on the side and pavement on the bottom there. This is a view from inside the library. I took relatively few pictures inside the library purposely so that people would go and wouldn't see too much, but they would be curious and want to go. But this was looking out toward the north from the library inside. This is the evening. As the evening fell and the sun started to set, many of us took blankets and chairs and sat up on the hillside, because they were going to, on the 4th of July, hold a drone show. Well, as it turned out, it wasn't just one drone show. Here's a picture of my husband and me before the sunset. We sat there and waited for the drone show, and as it turned out, there were actually 2 drone shows. They were both fairly brief, but they were pretty amazing too. So First, I want to show a quick video. Remember when I was in that conference room? When I first walked into the conference room, I was going to do an interview with a lady named Amy McCann. And as we walked into the room, there was a man in there, and he told me about the table that we saw and the light fixture above. His name was Matt Briney. Matt Briney is the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library Chief Communications Officer. And here is my interview with Matt Briney. All right, well, Matt, tell me about this amazing conference room table that we're looking at.
We are in our boardroom here, and this is a piece of the copper beech tree that was Theodore Roosevelt planted outside his home in Sagamore Hill in Oyster Bay, New York. And in this conference room, we have it. It's been cut down and planed, and then above you, we have the Elkhorn brand, cattle brand. So this literally is East meets West.
Fantastic. This is superb. Look at this amazing workmanship. This table is fantastic. And this kind of overlooks everything too then, doesn't it? So we could see over on the hill, we've got folks there.
You're looking into our prairie. We have our mile-long boardwalk that traverses the area. It can go up onto the roof of this building, and you look into the national grasslands on this side, on the opposite side of the building, into Theodore Roosevelt National Park.
I so appreciate it. Thanks so much, Matt.
Absolutely. Thank you.
He was terrific, and I just kind of stumbled upon him, but I got to talk to him, and then also later did an interview with a gal that I will show in the next segment. But I want to talk about the drone show a little bit and show you a little bit about the drone show too. That was very, very interesting. It was, like I said, kind of short-lived. They had 2 drone shows, and then in between them, they had about a 45-minute time span. And I thought, why is it so long? And it occurred to me later, they had to probably recharge the drones. And there were many, many, many drones. So let me show you a little video here of the drone show that I took myself.
Let's count it down with the Roosevelts and the O'Keefes. We gotta go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the show begin!
Tonight, under these North Dakota skies, we stand where Theodore Roosevelt once stood, humbled by this land, called in service to this country, and awed by the beauty of the Badlands. As we celebrate the nation's 250th birthday, we believe, as Theodore Roosevelt did, that the best of America is still to come. Happy Independence Day, and welcome to the grand opening of the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library. Let the show begin. As a sickly child, Theodore Roosevelt developed a lifelong fascination with the natural world. It sparked his curiosity, ignited his imagination, and propelled him to discovery.
It was amazing. The cool thing, Perry, was that it wasn't just a few drones. It was 1,776 drones, 1776.
How long did that drone show take?
I got about 4 minutes of the video for myself, but I think it was probably closer to about 7 or 8 minutes probably total. And that video that I was showing there was the second of 2 drone shows that we saw there that evening. There were also, which was kind of cool, also there were fireworks just behind us at the Burning Hills Amphitheater that night as well. So we had drone show in front of us, fireworks back behind us too.
Talk a little bit about that architecture and the landscape there, how they designed that basically into the cliff, right?
It was pretty astounding. Yes, they managed to use a great deal of the sediment and the land and the soil itself and the clay inside of the theater of the Teddy Roosevelt Presidential Library in the main room as you walk in to just enter the library to go in on and tour. You will see a very, very, very tall wall with different lines on it. And you may have seen pictures of it. It's far more impressive in person than it is on video, but you can see that they have used different layers, compacted it, and then set it in a mold so that it is a nice solid wall now, and that is inside the building. That's pretty terrific. On the outside, yes, the landscape just melds right directly into the building. It's a low, slow slope, so it looks like it's set into a hill.
Now, I've heard anecdotally it takes about 3 hours to go through the library. If you want to.
I think that would be fairly accurate. I think that sounds good. Now, what I had done is I had purchased tickets in advance for just my husband and me, and they were allowing, that very first day, they were allowing people in like half-hour increments, or I think it was hour increments, from 10 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night when they closed. And I had managed to score us 2 tickets for 7 o'clock entry. So we went there at about 6:30 and tried to get in a little bit early, which we did. And my husband and I went in about 6:30, 6:45. And we toured until they closed it down at 8 o'clock that evening to get ready for the drone show. Because for the drone show, they literally had to turn all the lights in the entire library off so that people would be able to see the drone show. So we toured for just about an hour, and we really hope to go back. There's many, many things that we, had to fight a lot of crowds and a lot of people, obviously, on the first day and didn't get to see.
Now, it's into a hill. Deceiving. What would you compare it size-wise once you get in there? It's got to be pretty massive.
It's massive. It is massive. If you are in the Heritage Center, I think it's probably a little bit bigger than the Heritage Center in Bismarck. It is very well done. I liked some of the videos that they used shadows to depict things and tell stories with the shadows in the background, like 3 fellas sitting next to a campfire, and you sit on logs, and they're talking about this tenderfoot, 4 eyes, Teddy Roosevelt. It was pretty terrific.
Folks, we're going to be back with Lori Hinz right after the break. She's got one more interview you're going to want to see. Please join us.
Base Flug Trailers of Dickinson is a family-owned dealer with expert staff that know their products front to back. We stock over 150 units of all types and can custom order a trailer with the unique features and capabilities you require for brands you can trust. Our experienced service team is the reason we're also the best place to have your trailer customized or repaired. Count on Base Flug Trailers of Dickinson to keep you hauling.
Come on in and experience small-town hospitality and the personalized care that makes car buying a pleasure.
We know that every journey starts with the right car. Whether it's school drop-off, weekend road trips, or your daily commute, we have the right vehicle for you and your family.
With trusted brands, affordable prices, and a team that treats you like family, finding your next car has never been so easy.
We pride ourselves on personal attention and quality service. The Set Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Yeah, U.S. Cattlemen is a member organization that each member has a vote in anything we do with policy. We're representing the independent cattleman or the cow-calf guy or an independent feeder or whatever. We like to support the independent producer. We're talking about mandatory ID, we're talking about cool, we're talking about all the legislation that's going to be coming down with the new administration. There's going to be lots of moving and shaking, so always check us out at our website, uscattleman.org.
We're talking to people today about investments. Let's see if we can get somebody. Excuse me, sir, do you have a retirement account?
I do. I'm invested in some annuities.
Fixed income? How is that?
It was better a few years ago. Each year, it buys less and less, barely keeping up.
That's where gold can make a difference. Unlike fixed payouts, gold rises with inflation, so you're not stuck with a low fixed payment.
So gold isn't stuck in the past like my annuity?
Don't let inflation erode your retirement savings. Invest in gold. Invest with Noble Gold Investments.
I'm $27,000 in credit card debt.
Okay.
You have to radically do something different, because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting.
Now's not the time to be doing math. The time to be doing math was when we didn't go into $200,000 of debt.
If you are freaked out and you're stuck in these debt payments and you think it has to be a part of your life, it doesn't.
We are Ladies of Another View. Join us every weekday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. as we discuss the big topics from North Dakota, the nation, and around the world.
We chat with everyone from celebrities and medical professionals to politicians, local business owners, and neighbors about the topics and stories that affect all of us.
We are unscripted and uncensored real news from real people. So join us every weekday morning for Ladies of Another View on BEK.
Welcome back to Open Range. I've got Lori Hinz of BEK TV with me. Lori's in a last segment. She did a little interview that she wants us to see. Lori, can you kind of preview it for us?
Well, I was really kind of hoping to try to find somebody to talk to at the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library. And so I did my homework in advance and found somebody who actually lives in Medora and has lived in North Dakota for some time. And that was kind of my goal. She ended up being terrific. I talked to this lady. Her name is Amy McCann, and we can run this interview. It's pretty self-contained. She was an amazing person, and I'm so glad I got to talk to her. And if you need help getting set up with a group tour of the Presidential Library, this gal's going to be your gal. So I am here at Teddy Roosevelt. It's the most amazing library. I've been to presidential libraries before, but this one is pretty terrific. The Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library, as you know, just opened. And with me is Amy McCann, and you are okay, explain it. It's a group experience manager.
Group experience manager. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm so very, very happy to have you on with me.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your background and how it kind of affected where you are now, where you come from.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in East Tennessee, in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I spent a lot of my time outdoors, in the woods there, and loved nature. I love nature a lot. And then I met my husband at the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. We've moved around to other national parks, but we've landed in North Dakota 18 years ago. He went to the University of North Dakota, so we lived in Grand Forks for about 5 years. Mm-hmm. Then when a job opened up here at Theodore Roosevelt National Park, he took it, and we moved here with our family and been
Wait a minute, you were park rangers?
Yes.
Oh, very cool.
Rangers.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's pretty often. So were you a park ranger first, and he was also a park ranger, or how did that work out?
He was a park ranger first. I was a stay-at-home mom for a little bit because my kids were really little. They were born in Grand Forks.
Okay.
And then once they got a little bit older and I had childcare, then I was able to go to work for the national park. And so, yes, I worked for the national park for about 7 years.
So, okay, you know Theodore Roosevelt National Park like the back of your hand then, because you've been here for a long time as a park ranger.
I have been here for a long time as a park ranger, and I've also talked to many North Dakotans, and hopefully some of them are watching you today.
Right, exactly. I love this so much.
But yeah, I've helped a lot of visitors find their way through Theodore Roosevelt National Park.
Amy, that is such a great backstory. Love it, love it, love it. Now, when you came to the park, at what point did you manage to get this job, and how did that come about?
Yes, yeah. So in 2020, it was about 2019, I knew a lot about the project already as a National Park Ranger. And then whenever the project started hiring staff, I knew that it was going to happen. At first, it was just an idea.
Right.
You know, and it's like, oh wow, they're hiring staff.
This is really going to happen. Right.
You know, and so there's a gentleman named Ken Veen out of Grand Forks, and he started coming out here. And I know Ken because I worked in Grand Forks as well. And whenever he came out, I just started talking to him about Theodore Roosevelt. I started talking to him about the prairie. I started talking to him about the community and all the things that we need to do to get ready for this library. And so that was my beginning. Because he's like, hey, Amy, do you want to come work for me?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Love to be involved in this.
Yeah.
What a wonderful thing. So talk about what exactly you're going to do now that the project has actually come to fruition and it's amazing. Yeah. Now you have to really roll.
It begins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we've been working up to this moment, to this day. And a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm like, this is my beginning. Yeah. You know,
this isn't the end. This is just starting out.
Beginning for me.
Right.
I get to start inviting people into not only to the building, but to the landscape as well. And so I've been working for the last couple of years with going out to lots of travel conferences and letting groups know that, hey, we're here, we're a thing. You're going to want to come and see us. I'm going to be on national television, and you're going to be calling me up saying, Amy, I want to come.
Nice.
So
yes, exactly.
We already have a lot of groups coming this summer.
Now, what kind of groups do you have? Are you talking schools? Are you talking?
All kinds.
Really?
Yeah, all kinds. So I have school groups. I have camps.
Oh, sure.
If we talk about children, it's like school groups, camps. I have church groups. I have senior citizen groups that, they have like a senior citizen center, and then they're like, hey, we want to come as a group. So they come as a group.
Love it.
I even have motor coaches. So people that are purposefully coming here on a motor coach from far away. Lots of motor coaches coming into the library.
Fantastic. Say somebody has like a little group or something.
Yeah.
How on earth would they go about, booking, and what would the experience be like? And you've got lots of choices, I would assume.
Yes, we do. We do have lots of choices. So you would go on to trlibrary.com. We do have a groups page there. If your group is 15 or more, we do have a discount for groups. And then I help you with your journey to get here and then to get into the building. We do have a self-guided tour, but we also have guided tours as well. So just according to what you're looking for, we could start tailoring that experience for your group.
How exciting.
Yeah. We have a cafe, so if they wanted to take a picnic out onto the property, they can, or if they wanted to eat in the restaurant, they can as well. So
talk about just the facility and all of the walking paths.
I know. This one of my favorite parts of this building is that it is meant to blend in with the landscape. It belongs here. And so it starts at the earth, rises up, and gently comes over and ends at the other side. And being a national park ranger, and a lot of people in our community that live here, we love our landscape. And so for this building to naturally blend in and be a part of the landscape is just gorgeous. The roof with all of its native grasses and prairies and flowers on top of it is beautiful. And the boardwalk is actually curated for everyone. And we share this relationship with nature and with earth, and this building shows you that. And so
I kind of love the fact that you can see the sunset perfectly, that you don't have some monstrosity blocking the view. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is a completely different
It is.
style.
And really, whenever you see the building from a distance, it blends
You can't
in
recognize
so
it.
You can't recognize
Yeah,
it.
that's
you
true.
Can't. And even whenever you come up the road, all you see is this prairie roof, and you really don't even know how big it is until you're inside.
True.
And so the architects really did a great job in making sure it belonged to this place.
Well, I am thrilled for you that you are doing this job. You are obviously perfect for this job, and I am very much looking forward to getting a group together and seeing what we can find. Again, the website and where to navigate to.
trlibrary.com, and there's a group page on there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Amy McCann, group coordinator. All right, it is Group Experience Manager at the TR Library. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
She was great.
Well, yeah, that was great. I remember her welcoming my family into the park many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been around for a while, and she was just a wealth of information. She was so well grounded and knew her stuff so well. It was a complete pleasure to meet Amy and be able to talk to her. So I was really thrilled. And like I said, she knew the community. She has lived in Medora for long enough, and she knows that that Teddy Roosevelt State Park literally like the back of her hand.
So the goal of the library obviously is to educate and entertain, and we want groups to go there, people to go there, families to go there. Do you stayed somewhere? You said there's new lodging in Medora?
Yes. My husband and I were some of the very first guests to stay at the new 1883 hotel. Now that is just at the very bottom of the hill. So if you are familiar with Medora, and many of us in the western part of the state are, maybe not so much in the eastern part of the state, you all need to go to Medora and get familiar. But on the west side of town, there is a hill that winds its way up to the top, and that is where the top of the amphitheater is. Then you take either escalators or you walk your way and wind your way down to your seats at the Burning Hills Amphitheater for the Medora musical. In that same parking lot, across the parking lot toward the north and toward the west a little bit, is the new Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library. And it, like we said, it kind of slopes along the hill there too. And I forgot your question already, but something about the hotel. The hotel is at the very bottom of the hill and across the road. So they have built this new 1883 hotel, and it's very, very nice, clean, big, nice rooms, very, very nice hotel, and they needed that desperately, and it's a great, great place to stay. We enjoyed ourselves immeasurably there. They were very, very kind to us at that hotel as well.
I'm interested to get your point of view. Do you think this works in competition or in conjunction with Mount Rushmore?
I think probably in conjunction with it would make a really good family vacation to go from South Dakota and see the heads in the stone, and then make your way from the south one to the north one, stay in Medora, visit, take your day just picnicking and hiking around. You can hike so many wonderful places to hike in Theodore Roosevelt National Park. Make sure you see the Painted Canyon. Be sure you go into the Presidential Library and give yourself plenty of time. Really, really good for kids. I was impressed with how well they did to make it accessible and interesting for children. The technology, hard to match. There's no technology like this anywhere that you will ever find in a presidential library. Let me just put it that way.
I'm a little bit creative, and I just came up with one image that I think needs to be captured. They need to take one of those wild horses and get it on the top of that building.
Oh.
Get a shot of that. I think that would be iconic.
Good idea. I don't know. They're not really easy to herd, dude. So.
Okay, folks, come back for the last segment. We've got Perry's perspective next.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I want to tell you, Lady Blue and I, we got a lot of miles together, but you know what? You and I got a lot of miles together as well. And all I want to do is bring to you the information on how we maintain a domestic supply of food and fuel for future generations. So I'm going to continue to travel the world and unearth the stories that make it possible that we can live in a free United States of America.
Welcome to Arrowhead Cleaners. Newly renovated, modernized, and ready to make your cleaning needs hassle-free. From commercial and residential wash and fold laundry services to the latest in professional dry cleaning techniques, we are dedicated to your unique needs, offering alterations, fabrications, and even custom hat making. So whether you're a busy professional, a family on the go, or even a rodeo champion, Arrowhead Cleaners is here to take your things from messed up to dressed up. Now celebrating our 64th year in Arrowhead Plaza. Are you dealing with arthritis, nerve and back pain, dry skin, or superficial wounds, but found no relief? Give Stewart's Natural Health a try. For over 4 decades, Stewart's Natural Health has been helping people and animals with herbal and natural oil lotions, ointments, and creams with a mission to help you relieve pain and feel your best using the power of nature. Discover the safe,
drug-free solution to your pain, guaranteed or your money back. Visit stewartsnatural.health today.
We are the St. Mary Sisters. We are building a new facility here in Bismarck, North Dakota, for the sake of training young women to be courageous teachers in this state. The sisters will educate the younger generation to be fully alive through truth and discipline. The sisters' life of devotion and joy will make a positive difference in your community. Check out what we're up to, see what's going on, and join our mission to make a difference in the lives of the children of North Dakota.
Ashley, North Dakota is where life moves a little slower, but never gets dull. From hunting, camping, and fishing to safe streets where kids can be kids, this is the best of small town living. And Ashley offers everything you need, from healthcare to hardware to countless ways to stay active. Here, we've invested in our future with major upgrades to roads, parks, and education. Whether you're here for the day or here for life, you'll find Ashley's where you ought to be.
There's never been a better time to rediscover the style, reliability, and all-season, all-terrain fun of the all-new Nissan lineup at the new and improved Ryan Nissan. Whether it's the sleek and stylish Murano, the adventure-ready Pathfinder, or the reimagined, ready-for-anything 2026 Rogue, the all-new Ryan Nissan has the vehicle of your dreams at a price perfect for any budget. It's time to rediscover your passion for the road. It's time to rediscover the all-new Ryan Nissan, engineered to endure.
Back to Open Range. I hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. It's been pretty entertaining to learn about all the things happening in Medora earlier in the month. Lori, I do a Perry's perspective to end the segment. It's been a while since you've been on, so tonight you might get to hear your first one. Okay. Here we go. P.T. Barnum once said, "There's a sucker born every minute." When I was a kid, I used to stand in the grocery store checkout line with my mom, just staring at those tabloids like the National Enquirer or the Star. How many times did they say Elvis was still alive? Nothing was ever too outlandish to be on the front page. I could never figure out why anyone bought those rags, but based on the prominent location within the store, they must have sold plenty. I'm much older now and been around the block a bit. I now realize way too many humans crave this stuff. Now, as a thinker, I wonder, is it strictly for entertainment, or do people actually believe this? Turns out plenty of people do believe it. Enough people to keep those rags still in business. And now with podcasts, there's a whole new profit center available. People are printing dollars that rival the treasury. This is what we do now. Every major event becomes content. Every tragedy becomes a launch pad for 1,000 podcasts, video essays, and threads. Conspiracy content isn't just a side hustle anymore. It's a full-blown industry. And the economics are brutally simple. Clicks print money. The more outrageous, the more fear-inducing, the more it triggers that they're lying to you feeling, the more it spreads. The algorithm rewards it. Creators get paid. Reposts get made. But I don't think it's only about the money. There's something in the human psyche that craves this stuff. Hell, millions, myself included, went to the Oliver Stone movie JFK in 1991. Why? I will leave that to people smarter than me, but it is legion. To be fair, for every George W. Bush, Dan Rather typewriter forgery that exposed something real, there are easily 1,000 others that are complete nonsense. And once someone starts down the rabbit hole, they turn into Wile E. Coyote. You remember the cartoon? Coyote is obsessed with catching the Roadrunner. He never succeeds. Every time he gets close, his own elaborate contraptions blow up in his face. Anvils, rocket skates, giant slingshots, Acme bombs. Does he learn? Never. That's exactly what happens in the conspiracy worlds. It starts with one reasonable doubt, usually before the blood is even dry. Then the theory gets bigger, more intricate, and more interconnected. Every piece of counter evidence isn't a reason to stop. It's proof the cover-up is even bigger. They double down, they triple down. The hole gets deeper and the schemes get wilder, and the Roadrunner, the actual truth, just keeps beeping along untouched. Can't stop, won't stop, because clicks print. Once everything can be the opposite of question Questioning everything can be the opposite of serious questions for serious people, because the goal is not the truth, but only the next question and the next and the next. Admitting they may be wrong just isn't intellectually honest anymore. It feels like betrayal. Betrayal of their following, their hours of view, themselves. Being Wile E. Coyote means you can never take a rest. Barnum understood human nature a long time ago. Today we have online content, infinite scrolling, and recommendation algorithms that know exactly what keeps us clicking along with a stadium full of pontificators. Every sucker needs a creator, but not necessarily the creator. Maybe modern conspiracy is now just Gnosticism for the digital age. Lori, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you fall on the conspiracy rabbit hole scale?
10 being totally believing in it, and
Yes.
1 being not so believing in this. I'd be a skeptic. I would be somebody probably in the 3 range, I think. And the reason I say that is from my father, who is a longtime pastor and unbelievably discerning as an individual. Both my parents are very sharp and discerning. From my dad specifically, got what I call the Jerry gene. His name is Gerald, and Jerry gene means I have the discernment gene, which allows me to listen to something, see something, and then my radar pegs red with the BS meter. And the BS meter says that is complete crap, what you are seeing. It is not true. So I consider myself to be a little bit more discerning, and I really work hard on doing that too. So discernment is really important, and people are very easily deceived, I believe.
I would say I'm a 3 and a quarter in that neighborhood. There are things, I mean, especially if it's coming from a politician, one tends to have to know that, you might not be getting the whole truth. You might be getting part of the truth.
Well, that is part of the whole key to this too, and people may not realize this, but the first thing you need to do, and you just said it, if it's coming from a politician, you can put it in you need to always know the source of your information. You need to discern the source of that information, especially in the world of AI. If you can look at a video and go, oh, that moves me emotionally, look at it again and then check to see if it is AI. And 99% of the time, if it moves you emotionally in some way or another, it's probably fake. Because it's doing that on purpose.
Bring up a good point with AI. Do you think my premise, is it any worse than the National Enquirer days and the people? I mean, I guess I don't see it. Maybe I don't look for it as much anymore, but it used to be right in front of me when we check out as kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't remember how many times. I remember where I was when Elvis died, but I don't know how many times they told me he was still alive. But with the internet and podcasting and things like that, do you think it's 1,000 times worse?
I think it's just a different medium. I think it's probably the same, maybe even more, just simply because we are so bombarded with so much information with social media every single day. I mean, we don't go to the store 42 times and see the magazines on the rack. We do scroll many, many more times now too. The other word that I wrote down besides discernment was the human psyche. You mentioned there's something in the human psyche, and I think that is very, very true. There is a desire for many people to feel like they know something that nobody else knows. And because of that, it is very, very easy to slip into the, I would say, the rabbit hole of trying to know something that nobody else knows and thinking that you're smarter than everybody else. And that desire of the human psyche trips up a lot of people, particularly people, and I'm just going to use her initials, who follow CO. I myself have been watching a lot of X posts recently, and people are they're recounting. There was a gentleman named Ryan Helfenbein, Helfenbein, and he is a friend of Erica and Charlie Kirk. And he was actually in the courtroom, and he posted on X incontrovertible proof of what he said actually happened at the murder and assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, I would take his word over some podcaster who's making $60 million from just asking questions any day, because my discernment tells me, okay, he actually saw the evidence that was presented in the courtroom.
And that's how I started down this journey, was Gnosticism. You know, people in early days of Christianity, immediately hearsay was the thing. I mean, everybody, you weren't told everything of the Bible. Only us smart guys can figure it out. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I went with this, is that, like you said, somebody thinks, no, I know more than you do. I know more than Charlie Kirk's killer's parents know. You know what I mean? So that's the direction that this took me.
It's grieved me. This whole thing has really grieved me, because I think people are searching for answers and certain things do not make sense to them. And I understand that better than most because of my biblical training and my theological upbringing, teaching me that you don't have to know everything. There are certain things that, like, I don't know what heaven's going to be like, for instance. You just have to have faith that what you read in the Bible is true, which I do.
Now, Wile E. Coyote, he's been chasing the Roadrunner for years. I think there's even another show coming out this summer in the movie theaters where him and the Roadrunner are starring in, but he has never caught him yet. And that's kind of where this is. You just keep digging and digging and digging and digging. There's always another controversy. Like I said, half the time they don't even wait for the blood to dry, and they've already, they follow me. I know all the answers.
I like to tell people, do not be deceived. Look at the source, check the source, go back and do some research, and it may take a little bit of time to do so, but learn things from people who actually should know. Don't look at that AI video and go, oh, look at what that animal just did. It was so lovely and wonderful, and go, oh, that seems kind of odd that they would actually act in that way. You have to use your discernment, and you have to do it in this day and age all the time. You have to use your discernment constantly, Perry.
Sometimes it just takes a little time. You said that. Just pause a little bit and let's gather evidence and let's see where things go before we have to comment on everything and make a half-hour show of it online, right?
And thank you very much for having me and letting me tell my stories about being out in Medora, both for the 1st and the 4th of July. I really appreciate the time. It was really fun for Jeff and me, and we enjoyed it, and it's always fun to do show and tell. So thank you.
Appreciate you being here. We'll have you back soon, okay?
Will do.
Enjoy the rest of the summer. Thank you, people. Have a good week. Thanks for watching Open Range.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. Join me on the trip and unearth the stories on how we maintain a domestic supply of food and fuel for future generations of American citizens like our forefathers did.
$27,000 in credit card debt.
You have to radically do something different, because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting.
Come on in and experience small-town hospitality and the personalized care that makes car buying a pleasure.
We know that every journey starts with the right car. Whether it's school drop-off, weekend road trips, or your daily commute, we have the right vehicle for you and your family.
With trusted brands, affordable prices, and a team that treats you like family, finding your next car has never been so easy.
We pride ourselves on personal attention and quality service. The Set Motors, where our customers send their friends.